bringing you a new series I'm gonna do, and that is an in the bag, full bag builds per brand. This is a full MVP bag build in a Grip BX3 that I've been playing with. I've been running the MVP discs forever, since since they were coming out. So most of these discs I've been playing since their actual release of that disc. So most of these are going to be on their third, fourth, fifth mold, or fifth disc, in that mold that I've cycled through. And there is some new stuff, but in my opinion, this is my favorite build out for an MVP bag, and so I'm excited to bring you guys that. And then we'll just go around a bag layout. I play tournaments and pull a Zuka cart, so I have my main, I would say my tournament bag, and all of my favorites are in that Zuka cart build. But when I'm playing local, or I'm playing smaller stuff, or I'm just going out daily and keeping stuff in the car, I do like to have a smaller setup. So I run the Grip BX3. It's the perfect size for me. It's not the full size AX5, which are awesome, and I used to run that when I was solely running a bag, but now that the cart is a part of my regular build, this just works out perfect. Right out of the gate, we'll just go with putters, which is probably the most fluid part right now. I really don't know what I want to putt, and I'll tell you, I went to the MVP Circuit Challenge this year. We just had it 2 weekends ago. I was able to squeeze a first place finish, my first place finish at that tournament, which was really cool. But I fell in love with the new Tempo, which is coming out, and this is a 4.4 2.5, and it was this disc along with an Electron Runway, which was in the putter plastic, but it's a runway. It's overstable beast, 5.4 3.5. I didn't throw this at all, so I solely relied on this and my servo, which I'll get to in a second. And I was putting, I probably had 5 or 6 putts outside of 40 to 70 foot range that just banged home in a single round with this disc. It's like an Envy. It's a little thinner profile though, and I really love that because I have a smaller hand. So I don't know, man, I'm kind of in love with the Tempo. I don't know what kind of plastics it'll come out in if I can full-time putt this, but I full-time putted this in my tournament for the first round, and then the second round you got to use your own bag, and I ended up putting my PA3s away and putting this just because I had already practiced and played around with it, and it was just dialed. It was dialed. The closest thing I can get right now in a putter plastic is a stabilizer. So I'm putting 2 stabilizers. Those are in the bag right now, and then this is for jump putts, longer distance putts. This is a fantastic throwing putter. The Tempo is awesome. I can't wait for it to come out. The watts come in today to the shop, and those are going to be releasing to you guys soon. So I'm excited to throw a watt. I like a Pilot, so I've got those. And my Tempo has a little Matt Dollar signature. He was there, so I got the legend to sign it for some good luck. And I got my first place finish, so thank you, Matt, for that luck. Going down from there, we'll do putters first. So I got a Space Race Pilot. This disc is incredible. It's just comes out of my hand perfect like butter. Just floats up, barely has any finish. So this is my straight layup disc. I use this all the time. I have a lot of holes where this is my absolute. Something new that I've been bringing to the bag is the special edition Atom in the Proton plastic. This thing is amazing, and I never liked an Atom or threw an Atom, but in this special edition in this plastic, like, it's domey and it just throws so nice. And I don't know, I feel like I can push it a little farther, kind of like an Envy, but also get a better, a little more finish than the Pilot, but I can also use it in place of those Pilot shots. So this has been getting heavy rotation in my bag. And then I have an Envy, which is the most beautiful, like, butterscotch on this, like, yellow rim with the flake in it, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous disc. I stamped it with our Syndicate logo. in the Wonder Bread. So this has just been staring at me in the shop for so long, I had to put it in the bag. Obviously I bag an NV and an MVP bag, so I have, you know, had some glow NVs and stuff like that. So this is my go-to NV now, and it rips. And then to round it all off, I have an entropy, and the entropy is super overstable, so I use this, you know, for those utility shots and forehand shots. So that's my putters, along with the tempo. In that mid-range, I run a Pyro, which is my overstable utility. You guys have thrown one of these, then you already know, but this disc is fantastic. I use this, or I use like a Prodigy MX1. I really love that disc as well, but in an all MVP bag, Pyro for sure. And this disc with a little more arm speed isn't even a beefcake in terms of overstability. I can really smash on it and get it to fly nice and dead straight, and then just have a really positive finish where it hooks up. Great on the forehand, and this is like a beautiful black and purple. I've had this one for a while. Surprisingly, not lost the black disc. I run a Hex. This is just a Space Race Hex I got with the Pilot, red rim. I've had this for a while. I'm gonna be honest, I know that you guys aren't gonna want to hear this, but I don't really love a Hex all that much. There's days that I throw this Hex better than I've thrown anything in my life, and then there's days where I just burn it over like crazy. So I don't know. I find myself reaching for this less and less, but also I've had some amazing rounds with it. So I don't know, I'm working the Hex. I know it's me, it's form, it's control. And then I also have this Watermelon Theory. And this is just kind of like that 5.5 -2.1 turnover disc. It feels better than an uplink for me. I like the rim, I like the feel of this disc. And so this is in the bag for kind of those turnover shots, you know, where I need an understable disc. Hyzer, I don't even really hyzer flip this. I guess it would be a great hyzer flip this too, but I don't really hyzer flip that disc personally. And then stepping up from there, we've got the servo. So you know, where I'm at now with my arm speed currently, I don't throw a crave. The crave just tends to completely burn over. It's kind of an unusable disc for me at the moment, where I used to throw the crave a lot and depend on the crave, and actually got my first forehand ace in a tournament on a crave. I've stopped throwing the crave, and then, you know, going to the circuit challenge, it pushed me into 3 discs that I don't really throw: the tempo, the servo, and the runway. And I fell in love with the servo. I threw some shots with this disc that blew my mind when I was forced to throw it. It's like a crave, but with a dependable finish. I'm not so worried about burning it over. Does a little better on the forehand, and this disc was amazing. So it earned a first place finish at the tournament, and it earned a place in the bag for sure. So I'm excited about this one. I would reach for this over the Hex, so this would fill a lot of that gap for me. So servo. After that, I've got an Inertia, which is my hyzer flip disc. I used to throw the Insanity a ton as my hyzer flip disc. It would just flip up real nice. The Insanity has a tendency to burn over, and sometimes that's cool, but oftentimes when I throw, the way I play, I want a hyzer flip disc that's just going to stand up and run dead straight and then finish, either straight or kind of a little bit left finish. So the Inertia does that a lot better for me, but still gets that push. My go-to hyzer flip disc right now, or for this shot, would be a Castoplast Falk. And I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but you know, this would be that go-to disc for me that just does it better than any of them. And I've found that this one matches that throw. And I went out the other day, did a lot of work with a lot of different plastics in the Insanities. I took the Inertia out, I took the Falk out, and I took a couple other discs. I was really trying to replicate the shot that I wanted, and this one beat it out. So if you haven't thrown an Inertia for that shot, it's amazing. After that, I throw a Fission Fireball, which would be my overstable you know, utility driver to fill that. This is 167. I actually was bagging the 148 for a long time. It still did what a fission was supposed to do, or what a fireball was supposed to do, which is pretty cool in that lightweight. But this disc is a lot of fun, holds good torque, you know, and I use it for spike hyzers and those utility shots, or kind of some forehand flex shots, that kind of stuff. This has become a staple, the Wraith, and this was done by In Dire Need. Sam hooked it up on this one, and this is a funny story because me and Sam were sitting in the shop and we had pulled out this disc that was this nasty poop brown color with a purple rim, and we're like, man, what are we gonna do with the disc that color? And I was like, dude, let's do the poop emoji. And he killed this thing. It came out, and this really does get me out of a lot. This disc now, I don't know if it's all of them, but for me, this disc just smashes dead straight and then finishes. And it got a big, dependable finish, but also I can push it straight and I can push it through lines. So this has really become a workhorse for me. I'd love to hear more of you guys, if you guys throw this, you know, how you like it. It does fantastic on the forehand. I like a nice flat top for my forehand disc, and it's got a nice flat top. Just feels really good in the hand. So, and then on my big drivers, I've got 3 of them right now. The Tenacity, which this is a brand new one because I just lost my other one. If you are local to me, you play John Reed Memorial, hole 15. I actually threw this over the island and into the next lake. Lost that one. And so, but the Tenacity is my straight bomber disc with a nice finish. But this one flies real, and they beat in, they fly really straight for me. So I can hyzer flip it, stuff like that. This one just flies dead straight. It's a 13 speed. I don't know all the numbers on the Tenacities, but I like these special editions. These are the ones I throw. This one's 170. I usually prefer it probably like in the 165, 167 would be my ideal weight. So we'll try the 170, see how it does. My go-to bomber disc for a long time from MVP is the Photon, the Fission Photons, which is a 11.5, -1.5, 2.5. And these are absolute workhorses for me. This one is a die by Daddy Mac Dies, who does a lot of our die work. And so this one's been really cool, but I throw them in a really light weight. So this one's 150 grams. Most of them I would say are that 150 to 157 grams in terms of my photons, mostly in fission plastic, a couple different plastics. But they just smash and they finish. They're dependable in the wind. So if it's going to do what it's supposed to do and stay dependable in the wind, I don't see a reason to go higher. I know a lot of people are old school and they like those, you know, higher weights, max weights. But I'm telling you, there's something to lighter weight discs that still do what they're supposed to do. So 150 gram Photon. If you haven't messed with these yet, they'll change your life. And then last but not least, I'm working Zenith into the mix. I know the Zenith has traditionally not been something that I'd like to throw. This is 169 grams. I'm pretty excited about it. Right now, it's a beefcake for me, and it doesn't really fly true to those numbers for me. So I'm not sure what's up yet, so I'm beating this thing in. I have a feeling that this disc, once it's beat in, is going to be an absolute go-to for me. So I'm excited about it. And we'll see how that goes. So that rounds out my MVP bag currently as it sits. You know, they fit in this bag really nicely. Something that's awesome to me is our Tacky SACS. So I run a SAC. This one's Pokemon. Tacky SACS is a family-owned company. They just feel incredible, and we're excited to be carrying them and partnered with them. Over here, I've got the max distance, but the mini, the 10-inch. This thing goes out to 10 feet, and it's like 10 or 12 inches when it's collapsed. So in my mini bag setup, I definitely want to have a retriever, but you know, there's just no way I want to carry a full-size retriever. I carry the full-size carbon fiber max distance retriever on my cart. It clips in. That's great. It doesn't weigh much, but I just, in the BX3, it just sticks out. So this one just disappears for me. Coming around the back, I got the Flight Towel Junior, so it hooks up in the center so I can carry a big, large, full-size towel, but it doesn't hang lower to the bag, which is really important to me. I hate when towels drag on the ground. My disc Raptor, which I would never not have. If you guys are not up on the disc Raptors yet, it's an incredible tool. It cleans your disc. It's got microfiber in here, as well as some AstroTurf in the corners to clean off the mud and grit. Just pop the disc in, spin it a couple of times, boom. So I usually hit mud on the towel, dry and clean in the spin, and that's my setup for that. And then I run the disc doctor for cleaning up the edges, which is super clutch. So, you know, these are some of my favorite accessories that we carry here in the store. Some things that have really made the game a lot cleaner and funner and smoother for me. Last but not least, a new product that we're carrying, something that I've been using for years and hasn't really made it into the disc golf market, is GRAYL bottles. And let me tell you, these things are amazing. This one is probably, I don't know, 2 years old. It's a GeoPress. I'm on my third filter that has a changeable filter, and what this is it's just a normal water bottle that you can use out on the course. But one of the problems in disc golf is plastic water bottles, and I find plastic water bottles all over the trails all the time. You know, it's important for you to be drinking water, but the fact is, if you can't find trash cans, there's water bottles spread everywhere. We're using too much plastic, and that's a problem. So what GRAYL does is, not only is it a plastic bottle that you can fill and take with you, it is a water filtration system, one of the fastest on the markets. And what you do, see if we can crack this thing open. What you do is pull out this insert right here, and you can scoop water from any water source. So, you know, around, I live in Georgia, but around most disc golf courses that I play, there's a creek, there's you know, bathrooms and stuff at state parks. They're not filtered, they're not clean water. It's you know, city water, or it's coming out of like you know, the bathroom, wherever you're getting your water source. But you can literally walk up to a creek and just scoop water, fill it from a faucet, something like that, and then press it with this filter, just like this, and do some pressure down. It's about 20 to 30 seconds, and what it results in is 99.9% you know, purified water. So you can take water from any source. I don't care how crazy it looks, at any, you know, course that we play in the cities, and you can go scoop some water from the creek, and you can have yourself 100% drinkable water. And so it's a renewable source. You're able to get water, you know, anywhere on the course. And I just think that this is an incredible product that hasn't made it to the disc golf market yet, but is going to change the game. So I have been talking to my sales rep and pitching them the idea of trying to push it into the disc golf market. There's two different sizes. This is the 24 GeoPress, and then they have the 16-ounce Ultra Press, which I'm going to get. I think the Ultra Press would fit really nice. The GeoPress fills out this, but it's a little on the bigger side, so I like to carry the Ultra Press. So GRAYL water bottles. They come in titanium as well, so that the outer sleeve you can actually cook in and heat. That's brand new, that just came out. So these are going to be hitting the shelves here at the Disc Syndicate really soon, and I think you guys should get one and ditch the plastic water bottles and move to something like this. And you know that we got our Pico Minis, always got our minis on us, so that we don't spill our beverages and we can use them as our markers. So that's kind of my rig as it sits. Make sure you guys come in and check some of this stuff out. Grab you a Syndicate patch if you haven't yet, and we would love to help you guys build your bag. We'll see you guys.